Hello and welcome to the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings, with your host Ram. I had the pleasure of bringing you this daily cricket happening show every day. It's all due to your tremendous cooperation, dear friends and subscribers. So, as I start off this cricket show, I would like to tell you what is in store for you on this cricket show. Well, today's cricket show will include, firstly, it will include the Indian victory over South Africa, a walk in the park victory for the Indians with Du Plessis and De Villiers missing due to injury, and also the South Africans could not get a handle once again on the Indian wrist spinners Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal going on to pick up his first fifer in one-day internationals, 3 wickets to Kuldeep Yadav, and the South African ship was totally sunk today by India, as India had 9 wickets victory to go 2-0 in the 6-match ODI series. Now, as far as the Sri Lanka Bangladesh was concerned, there was a lot of interest in that particular match as to whether Bangladesh would be able to save the match. Yes, they definitely did. This was a tremendous performance. Mominul Haq was the one who held the flag for Bangladesh, because he was the one who became the first ever Bangladesh batsman in Test history to go and score 2 centuries in a single test in both innings of a test and take a bow, Mominul Haq. And in fact, I thought the Bangladeshis did well on a track which was not showing any signs of wear, and they came out unscathed there, and they did a wonderful job to draw the first test match. And as far as the Big Bash League finals was concerned, which was viewed with lots of interest by cricket fans, Adelaide Stirkers went on to pick up their first ever Big Bash League title when they beat the Hobart Hurricanes by 177 for 5. The chief architect being the opener, Jake Weatherall from Adelaide Stirkers, striking his maiden century in Big Bash League. And what a time for him to bring up that very, very special knock, which took the Adelaide Stirkers to 200 odd runs, 202 for 2, and the Hobart Hurricanes were restricted to 177 for 5. Thus, the Adelaide Stirkers winning the match by 25 runs and taking their first ever Big Bash League 2000, being the proud, I would say, owners of the Big Bash League in 2018, and congratulations to the Adelaide Stirkers. So first we will get on to the second ODI, India versus South Africa, and one knew that South Africa were definitely going to find it tough at the Centurion Park, but one was really surprised that the South African batsmen totally caved in to the spinners. Wrist spinners, especially Yuzvendra Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav. So for India, Indian captain Virat Kohli won the toss. South Africa had a new captain, Aiden Markram, the youngster, 23 years old, getting his captaincy debut, and he and Kohli and Markram went on for the toss, and the lucky person was the Indian captain Virat Kohli. And Indian captain Virat Kohli decided that he would insert the South Africans to bat. Probably South Africans would have thought that they definitely had they would get an opportunity, as the ball might turn during the second innings. But unfortunately, it was not the case, and the Indians absolutely breezed to a victory there with almost 30 overs to spare, which I'll be talking about. But as far as the South African innings was concerned, it was Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock in the middle, and Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock slowly started pushing the scoring along, as they knew that there was a lot of responsibility on their shoulders in the absence of Du Plessis and De Villiers. Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock put on an opening partridge of 39, and then Bhuvanesh Kumar struck by getting Hashim Amla caught behind by Dhoni for 23 of 32 deliveries, 4 fours. The next wicket to go, Aidan Markram himself was a victim. It was Quinton de Kock was the next to go. Quinton de Kock, after making 20 of 36 deliveries with 2 fours, he fell a victim to the bowling of Chahal, trying to attack Chahal. He fell for the bait and he was caught by Pandya. Markram was a victim of the bowling of Kuldeep Yadav for 8 of 11 deliveries with 1 4. Dumini once again found the gun, but it was Dumini and Zondo. Kaya Zondo was making his debut today, and he was the highest scorer. He was the joint highest scorer with JP Dumini with 25 to the name. And as I said, they definitely, the South African batsmen could not fathom the spin of the wrist spinners Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal, as they were bowling it very, very slow through the air. And Dumini and then David Miller went off very, very quickly, pushed at a delivery from Kuldeep Yadav. Rahane taking the catch, he was gone for naught. Dumini was LBW bowled Charlie. In fact, Dumini and Zondo were the ones who actually got a sort of partnership going, as they pushed on the score to 99 with a 48-run partnership that happened for the 5th wicket. But they could not go any further, as Chahal was absolutely on the South African batsmen today, as Kaya Zondo was consumed by Pandya of the bowling of Chahal for 25, 45 deliveries, 2 fours. Dumini WS said to Chahal. After that, it was pretty quick work. Morris was, after hitting a breezy 14 of 10 balls with 1 4 and 1 6, fell a victim to Chahal. Rabada was clean taken by Kuldeep Yadav, LBW. Mominul Haq LBW bowled Chahal for 1. Imran Tahir was bowled by Bumrah for naught. Shamsi was not out on naught. And the South African innings lay in shambles, as they were all out without even using the full quota of overs, and this also happened to be their lowest ever score in an ODI in South Africa. So at home, this is the lowest ever score that they had, and they were all out in 32.2 overs. Now, as far as the bowling, as I said, it was all about Yuzvendra Chahal getting his first maiden 5-wicket haul in ODIs, 8.2 overs, 1 maiden, 22 runs and 5 wickets. Kuldeep Yadav 6 overs, no maiden, 20 runs and 3 wickets. So the tale continued for the South Africans, as they were definitely not able to read the ball through the air from the Indian wrist spinners. Jadhav 3 was none for 11, Pandya 5 was none for 34, Bumrah 5 was 1 for 12. Bumrah was very, very good. In fact, I think he hit Amla on the helmet, I suppose, or Quinton de Kock. He was pretty sharp. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was also very good. 5 was made in 1 for 19. And then the Indian innings started. They were given a target of 119 to win. One knew that the writing was on the wall, but Rabada gave them a breakthrough after Rohit Sharma went on to a brisk 15 of 17 deliveries, 2 fours and 1 6, trying to hook at Rabada, a bouncer. He managed to do that, but the edge went on to Morkel. He was gone. That was the solitary wicket that the South African bowlers could take. After that, it was Shikhar Dhawan continuing in that first innings. As you know, his innings was nipped in the bud when he was looking in pretty good nick with 36 runs. But today it was not to be. In fact, he went on to a 50 in a similar vein, not out on 51 of 56 deliveries, 9-4 started that effort. Virat Kohli, as usual, getting into his moment of things, not out on 46 of 50 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. Game was over in a trice. 119 for 1. India completed the formalities in 20.3 overs, thus taking a 2-0 lead in the 6-match ODI series. Mominul Haq 4 overs, none for 30. Rabada 5 overs, 1 for 24. Morris 3 overs for 16. Imran Tahir 5 none for 30. Shamsi bowled 3 overs, 1 made and none for 18. Yuzvendra Chahal, for his effort of his first 5-wicket haul in ODI cricket, got the Man of the Match award. And I think South Africa needs to do a lot now, because with 2 I mean, they have to still wait for one match before De Villiers joins the fray. But even the third one-dayer would be something which will put immense pressure on the South Africans, according to me. And Aiden Markram, as the captain, had a very stiff test taking on the Indians as the captain making his debut. Well, so let's get on to the Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh. We are talking about the final day proceedings at Chittagong, and one was really waiting to see what happened with Bangladesh on 81 for 3 at close of play yesterday. And let's see what really happened as far as Bangladesh was concerned. So Bangladesh started off on their overnight score of 81 for 3 with Mominul Haq in the middle. Mominul Haq, and I'm just going to talk about that. I'm just going to refresh the screen here. Sorry, dear fans. I understand. So basically, it was Bangladesh. What was good about Bangladesh was that they really stuck to a plan. They knew that they have to make sure that they actually get on to the lead, and Mominul Haq was the one who provided that to them. So as I said, Mominul Haq became the first Bangladeshi player in Test history to actually make 2 centuries in one Test match. So definitely it was a proud moment. As they started the day, it was from 81 for 3, the Sri Lankans had to really toil. Probably they came with lots of hopes here, but the pitch continued to play in the same vein. There was no difference there was no change in the pitch. There were no demons in the pitch. One could not even see the wear and tear. So basically, I would say the pitch was looking rock hard here. And Mominul Haq and Litton Das, but still Mominul Haq and Litton Das had to take their time. And what they did was that there was not an attempt by Mominul Haq and Litton Das to really go on the offensive or probably go into the shell. In fact, it was a sort of a very measured cricket, a measured innings coming in from both the batsmen. It was a very measured display, I thought. From 81 for 3, they pushed on the score to 261. So that was 180 runs partnership which happened between Mominul Haq. Mominul Haq once again showing that flair for his strokes, but today he knew that he had a job to do, and in the absence of after the big names had all been out, he knew that he had a job to do, and he did it to a perfection, I thought. And it was also his 6th 100 in one-day international cricket. Litton Das, on the other hand, I'm told that Litton Das has been highly rated by the very top Bangladeshi batsmen like Tamim Iqbal, Shakib Al Hasan, and Litton Das definitely showed that he swept the spinners very well. He played the spinners very well. Good use of the feet, and he was also driving very well. And one really saw this partnership really blossom and start frustrating the Sri Lankans on the final day, as the 180 runs were added by this particular pair. And then finally, Litton Das was looking good to get to a century and truly deserved it, his maiden ODI century, maiden Test century, but unfortunately it was not the case. Rangana Herath flighted one delivery. Litton Das wanted to probably lift him and get to a century pretty quickly, and in the process that was an error on his part, and Litton Das was out for 94 with 11 boundaries. Mominul Haq's contribution, as I said, 105, 6th century in Test matches, and also happens to be the first Bangladeshi batsman to have made 2 centuries in a single Test, as Mominul Haq 105, 5 fours and 2 sixes. And after that, they still had some work to do with the score on 279 for 5, Litton Das. But after that, with 18 overs being bowled, I thought Mosaddek Hussain did a fine job to give some very valuable company to Mahmudullah, as both actually Mosaddek Hussain typically was just blocking the deliveries, and Mahmudullah on the other hand was also seeing to it that his team would be definitely saving this Test match. And as the match was, and then both the captains agreed with nothing really coming out of it. They agreed to call the umpires call the game off with the consent of both the captains, as Bangladesh score read 307 for 5. Mahmudullah was not out on 28 with 3 boundaries. Mosaddaq Hussain not out on 8 with 1 boundary. And Bangladesh saving the first test match, and the first test match between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh ending in a draw. Mominul Haq was certainly the man of the match, and he was the man of the match for his exploits with the bat. Hera 28 over 6 minutes, 80 runs and 2 wickets. They definitely started off with Rangana, probably thinking that on the final day, with all the footmarks being formed, they might get some help to the spinners, but it was not the case. Lakmal 9 overs, yes, there was definitely a patch of rough, but definitely it was, I thought even the Bangladeshis also batted very well. None for 25 for Lakmal, De Silva 1 for 41, Pereira. I'm not going to go into those details here, as I have to get on to the Big Bash League finals, which was played between Adelaide Stirkers. As I said, both the teams, Adelaide Stirkers and Hobart Hurricanes, were playing in their first ever finals of a Big Bash League, and it was a very special moment for both the teams. It was played on the home turf of Adelaide Stirkers, and Adelaide Stirkers were the victors by 25 runs. So looking at the Adelaide Stirkers innings, it was all the feature was Jake Weatherall, the opener, really getting on to the bowlers. In fact, most of his stroking was coming through the square leg region. What a knock it was. I mean, he was simply superb with his stroke making. It also happened to be his maiden ODI century, maiden T20 century in the Big Bash League, and it was very wonderfully done. Carey was out for 18 of 16 deliveries. He lost his stumps to Archer of 16 balls with 3 fours, but Weatherall was the one who was staying there to take the Adelaide Stirkers to a very imposing score of 202 for 2 in the finals. Weatherall made 115 of just 70 deliveries, which was studded with 9 fours and 8 sixes. A tremendous knock in the finals by Jake Weatherall. Travis said the captain was not out on 44 of 29, 2 fours, 1 6. Colin Ingram unbeaten 14 of 6, 1 4, 1 6, as Adelaide Stirkers went on to an imposing total of 202 for 2. Rose 3 overs. Now this was what Weatherall did to the Hobart Hurricanes bowlers. Rose got 3 overs which went for 30. Jofra Archer was also costly today. Really got some. I thought that Jofra Archer unfortunately could not get his line right. His 4 overs went for 46 today, with 1 wicket to show besides his name. Tom Rogers 4 overs, none for 30. Meredith bowled 3 overs for 34. Short 2 overs for 20. And Daniel Christian also went for runs today. 4 overs, 1 for 38. Hobart Hurricanes chasing the total of 202. Had an early wicket gone when Tim Penn, but one definitely was a bit surprised, especially considering the fact that Matthew Wade in the semi-finals had done a wonderful job and taken the man of the match, and he was absolutely brilliant against the likes of Mitchell Johnson and other bowlers, and one was really wondering as to why Matthew Wade did not open the innings. For me, that was $1 million question according to me, and one was really surprised to see that Matthew Wade didn't open the innings. It was Tim Paine and DRC Short who opened the innings. DRC Short definitely did his bit of scoring 68 of 44, 6 fours and 4 sixes. One would have probably thought that, Matthew Wade, after playing such a wonderful knock in the semi-finals, would have been definitely opened the innings on his current form, but it was not to be. Paine was out for 5. Short made 68. Bailey really briefly threatened with an innings of 46 of 33, 2 fours and 2 sixes. Ben McDermott the other day, who was the hero by smashing runs all across the park, today was LBW bowled Siddle for 9. Christian tried to hit it towards the end with 29 unbeaten runs of 19 deliveries, 3 fours and 1 6. Now look at what happened to Matthew Wade. He did not even face a ball, and being the non-striker, he was run out for naught, which is very sad. Milenko 9 of 7, but one has to say today we had one of the bowlers who was actually probably playing I think it was Liam O'Connor who was the right arm wrist spinner who was playing, and he impressed. Siddle was simply superb. 4 overs on maiden, 3 for 17, 4 overs for 27 for the young wrist spinner none for 27. Ingram 1 over, none for 18, disappeared. Ben Lawlin 4 overs for 43. Nesser none for 34, and Travis had 1 for 30. So the Big Bash League, Adelaide Stirkers are the champions. They won the 2018 Big Bash League tournament in Australia. Jake Weatherald, what a match he had, what a finals, the man of the finals, Jake Weatherald, with his maiden T20 century in the Big Bash League, and DRC Short for putting up a very good display in this Big Bash League, took away the man of the series, and rightly so. Well, dear fans, friends and subscribers, it's about time for me to wind up this daily cricket show of mine by waving you all a big goodbye from right now, but promising you that your host Ram will once again be back with you to share the cricket moments. Till such time, it's your host Ram signing off. Thank you.